Transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney has broken her silence over the transphobic attacks against her by the right in a video where she accuses Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of Bud Light, of essentially throwing her under the bus.
I should have made this video months ago, but I didn't. And I was scared, and I was scared of more backlash, and I felt personally guilty for what transpired. So I patiently waited for things to get better. But surprise, they haven't really. And I was waiting for the brand to reach out to me, but they never did. And for months now, I've been scared to leave my house. I have been ridiculed in public. I've been followed. And I have felt a loneliness that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I'm not telling you this because I want your pity. I am telling you this because if this is my experience from a very privileged perspective, know that it is much, much worse for other trans people. For a company to hire a trans person and then not publicly stand by them is worse, in my opinion, than not hiring a trans person at all, because it gives customers permission to be as transphobic and hateful as they want. And the hate doesn't end with me. It has serious and grave consequences for the rest of our community. And you know, we're customers too.
All right, so I mean, first off, the level of just discussing attacks against her is just unfathomable. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. But then knowing that the people who put you in that spotlight, again, they signed a deal with Bud Light. They sent her one promotional can with her face on it, and she made a video about it and posted it online. And then everything just went completely old to hell. And to know that the company that signed you for that promotional deal does not have your back is just horrifying. So now, that right there is the best example that I can give you of rainbow capitalism. I've talked about this before, where companies will pretend to be on the side of LGBTQ people during Pride. And of course, all of this happened before Pride, to be fair. But, you know, they'll change their logos. Oh, we're LGBTQ friendly, and they'll you know, hire a transgender influencer, you know, on social media, do brand deals and things like that. But again, when they get any sort of pushback, they cave, they cower, because they didn't actually care about trans people, about this issue at all. They saw it as simply a marketing technique. That's it. Hey, let's get some cool points with the younger kids by being not hateful towards LGBTQ people. You know, that seems to be the rage. That's the bee's knees, not being transphobic. Yes, let's sign a deal with this person and pretend that we're on their side. Yes. While we, of course, give money to some of the most abhorrent people, politicians that are passing massively anti-gay laws all across the country. But, you know, they won't know that. If we're publicly professing to be on the side of trans people. Look, this is why I despise rainbow capitalism. Again, they sign a deal with her. She gets backlash by a bunch of disgusting bigots. And then what happens? They slink into the bushes. InBev, Anheuser-Busch InBev. They slink into the bushes like Homer Simpson in that meme. Just go on. Gone. And they leave her to twist in the wind by herself. Again, she makes the best point where she says it would have been better had they not hired me or a trans person at all. Prior to this, at least I can speak only for myself on this. I didn't know who Dylan Mulvaney was. I think a lot of people didn't, especially right-wingers. They didn't know who she was. But she got, you know, targeted. Enough people. Now, by the way, this is not to diminish her at all. By the way, her success on, I believe it was Instagram. I don't go on Instagram, so that's probably why I don't know. She had a thing. She obviously had a ton of supporters beforehand, had fans, enough for Anheuser-Busch to reach out to her. So obviously, you know, much more popular on that platform than I am on pretty much any platform. And so, again, not diminishing her at all. by saying that I have no idea who she was, and that a lot of people that I know had no idea who she was. But she had her own thing, and it was super successful enough for, again, businesses to reach out and ask for these promotional deal. But unfortunately, again, it did not turn out well because the right wing bigots, Matt Walsh, Kid Rock, Donald Trump, all these people targeted her. And there was a gigantic, target placed on her back. It got stupidly insane. First stupid and then incredibly crazy and scary. Again, people like Kid Rock taking these, Bud Light cans. I mean, first you have people pouring them down the sink, going, I don't like Bud Light anymore. Okay, well, that's your thing. Whatever, right? You're going to waste your money? Fine. But then it got stupid and insane and crazy. Kid Rock getting cases and shooting them with a gun. And then it turned into people harassing other people for buying what they assumed was Bud Light. People going into the stores and smashing display cases, threatening workers, calling into factories and threatening them. Just complete and utter insanity because of these people. And what did Anheuser-Busch do? They did nothing. They did nothing. Full retreat. Rainbow capitalism. That's it. They thought they could capitalize on making a deal with a trans influencer. And when the bigots push back, as they inevitably do, this company folds like a cheap suit. It's disgusting. So now Anheuser-Busch made a response after this video was released. And of course, just like their beer, pretty weak sauce. I said it. Quote, as we've said, we remain committed to the programs and partnerships we have forged over decades with organizations across a number of communities, including those in the LGBTQ+ community. The privacy and safety of our employees and partners is always our top priority. As we move forward, we will focus on what we do best, brewing great beer for everyone and earning our place in the moments that matter to our consumers. Beta male. So, complete and utter bland, corporatized BS statement. It says nothing. It does not address Mulvaney. It doesn't even mention her name. Now, look, the only thing that I can understand from this, that I can go, okay, sure, is when it comes to the safety of employees and partners. Yeah, I don't want store employees being assaulted by some right-wing lunatic that's mad because there was one single can with a trans person's face on it. I don't want workers being assaulted. Of course not. But you know what? You have to protect them, not by abandoning transgender people. And so that's what's important here. Yes, we should protect workers. Of course we should protect 100%. Should also, there's nothing that prevents you from protecting workers and trans people at the same time. Trans people are also workers, by the way. And as she mentioned, trans people are also enjoyers of beer. Why can't you protect them all? Oh, but that would be hard. Oh, too difficult. Too difficult for us. In fact, they don't even protect their workers at all from anything. So, and look, by the way, the last thing I'm going to say is something that she mentioned, right? It's not about Dylan Mulvaney herself. Yes, she's an important part of the story. She's a catalyst here for this discussion. But as she mentions, she says, I have privilege here. She makes that admission, and I appreciate that, and says that this isn't just about me. This is about trans people. This is about representation. This is about people who, don't have a platform and don't have power. Those are the people that are being affected the most. And what the message being sent by Anheuser-Busch, InBev, is that we will not protect you when the right wing comes for you. When the right wing launches their intimidation campaigns, We will not be there for you. We will not protect you. We will protect ourselves and the bottom line. And that's it. This intimidation campaign absolutely worked. You can call it a boycott if you want to. Doesn't really matter to me. I say it's an intimidation campaign because they were doing far more than just not buying beer. They were intimidating people and attacking people who were. And again, that message being sent that we're not going to have your back, I'm pretty sure the LGBTQ community is going to remember that. And any ally worth their salt is also going to remember that going forward. And we should never let them forget it.